Would you work a second job to pay someone else's rent? A Queens landlord is doing just that after her tenants terrorized her. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. Alright, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's about some tenants who really have terrorized this landlord who happens to live in the same property as her tenants. But before I get into that article, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Maybe leave a comment down below and tell me what you want to see in these videos. You know, I can do a ton of great videos, but I want to bring content that you're interested in as a landlord. So, this article comes from therealdeal.com, and it says, terrorized in her own home, Queens landlord says her hands are tied. For a small landlord in Queens, property ownership has turned into a nightmare. Vanny Mangal, a physician's assistant who worked through the darkest days of the pandemic at a Connecticut hospital, has found little comfort at her home in South Ozone Park. Mangal, 31, who manages the basement and first floor apartments of a 3-unit home owned by her 70-year-old mother, says the last 15 months have been a blur of mounting arrears and conflicts with abusive tenants she isn't legally permitted to evict, according to the New York Times. Yeah, okay, she basically is put in this bad situation, and you know, it is one of the worst things ever when not only do you have to pay for your tenants to live in that property, but you have to live with those tenants. You're paying all the bills, you know, putting these people up in the house that you're living in. You know, I mean, they've really turned you into a social welfare provider and not this isn't a profitable venture. Okay, so I imagine that it's just a nightmare situation, and trying to get anything out of a bad tenant who isn't paying is hard, and especially when you actually have to live there with them. The first floor renters, couple Rosanna Busgith and Phil Garnett, who moved into the apartment in October 2019, stopped paying rent in March of last year. They now owe over $24,000 in rent, plus more than $1,700 in natural gas bills. As Mangal spent her days tending to hospital patients on ventilators, her nights were spent enduring banging on the ceiling below her bed from the tenants, who she claims yell, curse, and spit at her, and have accused her of stealing mail. Wow, yeah, so sounds like she doesn't get along with these people at all. And you know what? I don't know about these natural gas bills. That's kind of questionable. You know, what exactly were they not paying the gas bill for? Now, I do know that in some places that if you don't pay the gas bill as a landlord, then the next tenant won't even be able to turn the gas on. So yeah, she might be caught up and end up having to pay these gas bills on top of the $24,000 that she is owed in rent. So I mean, that's absolutely crazy, you know. And yeah, as for them spitting and yelling and cursing at her, I mean, all that, and she still can't get rid of these people? Give me a break, okay? Eviction moratorium is protecting a lot of really bad people out there. The basement floor tenants, a mother and daughter who moved into the unit in 2016, also stopped paying rent during the pandemic. A security camera Mangal had set up caught the mother, Anika Mahabir, keying Mangal's SUV and dropping packages meant for the landlord near the garbage. Wow. So this is a 3-unit, right? So yeah, the article says, yeah, it's a 3-unit home. She lives in one of the units. She has non-paying tenants in the other 2. And not only that, but they're spitting and throwing stuff at her. And then the other tenants are, stealing her packages and key in her car. I mean, come on. I mean, could this get any worse than this? This is absolutely awful. Now, I will say one thing, okay? I don't know what her, how she is treating these tenants. I don't know what the backstory is. It doesn't seem like a tenant would just come out and just straight key your car out of the blue, okay? So if she, cussed at him or yelled at him or whatever, or, there might be some action on both sides. I'll just say it like that, okay? Because it seems like these tenants, I know they're not paying, but man, I mean, I don't see them getting this wicked with somebody unless there's something going on that's not being mentioned in this article, okay? It says the mother and daughter eventually vacated the unit in December after Mangal agreed to drop charges and leaving the landlord with over $9,000 in unpaid rent. So okay, so yeah, she agreed not to charge that tenant who keyed her car, but she got left with $9,000 in unpaid rent. All I can say is thank God they left, okay? Because at least they're not in there anymore. You can either leave the place vacant, wait for the eviction moratorium to end, or you can get a good paying tenant in that unit. And you know, either way, you're better off with those people gone. Yeah, they keyed up your car, but you know what? I'm just be glad they're gone, okay? Much better than having them in there, possibly tearing your place up even worse and harassing you even more. Had it not been for the pandemic, Mangal could have been able to evict the tenants for non-payment. But with a federal moratorium that extends through month's end and a state ban that lasts until August 31st, Mangal finds herself among a group of owners forced to deal with non-paying or unruly tenants until the bans expire. Mangal filed an eviction case in December against the couple occupying the first floor unit, but the suit is stuck among 59,000 filings submitted since the beginning of the pandemic. It could take months for the backlog to clear, the Times reported. An eviction case, even before the pandemic, could last up to a year. Yeah, tenant-friendly state, okay? New York is a very tenant-friendly state. So, like it says right here, before the pandemic, it took up to a year to get a non-paying tenant out of your unit. So, what are you even doing trying to be a landlord in a place like this, okay? You're hoping for the best, but hope and dreams is not going to pay the bills. That's not the way this works. So you end up becoming the homeless shelter for the poor people. You end up becoming the social welfare provider for the people who are falling down on hard times. And not only that, but they consider you the villain. So you're going to eat that $9,000 loss. You're going to pay for the damage from them keying your car. You're going to lose them packages that they threw away. You can't get rid of these people who are stuck on the first floor. You're just completely screwed, okay? And yeah, this is happening all over the country, but New York already was worse than this.